Chapter 3 Quiz Review, Problems 16, 17, and 18. Our directions are to rewrite each as a single simplified fraction. All right, so 16, we have some complex fractions. We have 1 over a minus 1 over b, and it's all being divided by 1 minus 1 over ab. So we need to look at each of our fractions and their denominators, right? And remember that 1 is like over 1 if you want to think about it that way. So we need something that's divisible by a and by b. So therefore, we're going to multiply everything in the top by ab and everything in the bottom by ab, right? So this is like the fraction equivalent to 1. So when we do this, we're going to distribute it through. We're going to multiply each of the tops by ab. And you can show out, as much work as you need to, or not as much if you're good with this, right? You could say this is ab over a minus AB over B. And then on the bottom here, we have AB over 1 minus AB over AB. So I don't expect you to show all of this step here, right? If you're more comfortable and you can go ahead and cancel them out, like without having to write out this step, more power to you, go ahead and do that, right? So what we actually have left over here in the numerator would be just B minus A. Right, so I have a b minus a, and then in the denominator, ab over 1 would be just ab minus, and then when you have ab divided by ab, right, they're both going to cancel, but that's going to leave us with minus 1. Okay, so we have a b minus a over an ab minus 1. And if we look at that, does anything factor at all? In this case, it does not appear, so that means this would be our simplified answer. Let's look at 17. We have a 2 over 1 plus a 5 over x minus a 3 over x squared, and that whole thing is being divided by 1 minus 9 over x squared. So as we look at each of our denominators, 1x, x squared, on the bottom we have 1 and we have x squared. We need something that's divisible by 1, which, I mean, everything's divisible by 1. It's got to be divisible by x, and since we have an x squared, it's got to be divisible by that. So x squared, right, is divisible by all of those, right? So we're going to multiply the top and the bottom each by x squared. So we'll go ahead and distribute that through, right? You're multiplying the numerators, but you can cancel the denominators at the same time. So 2 times x squared is 2x squared. X squared times 5 is 5x squared, but then we're going to cancel out the x, right? So we'd have plus 5x. And then when I do minus 3 times x squared divided by x squared, right, the x squareds are going to cancel, leaving us with just minus 3. On the bottom, we're going to do x squared times the 1 on the top, which would be just x squared. And then x squared times 9, and then dividing by the x squared is going to cancel that out there and have this x squared minus 9. Now let's just factor, right? So we know the top should factor into a 2x and an x. Let's see here. We want to 3 times 2 is going to be 6, and then 1 times 1 is 1. So we need this one to be positive, this one to be negative. So 2x minus 1 times the quantity of x plus 3 over a difference of squares, so x minus 3 times x plus 3. And now we'll see that this factor and this factor can cancel, and our answer ends up being 2x minus 1 over x minus 3. There you go. Now let's go ahead into number 18. We have 9 minus a to the negative second over 3 times a to the negative first minus a to the negative second. All right, so I'm going to rewrite these. We're going to say 9 minus 1 over a squared. On the bottom, Remember, this 3 has a positive exponent on it, right? It's 3 to the first power. So I would rewrite this as 3 over a minus 1 over a squared. And now as we look at our denominators, right, we've got a 1, an a squared, an a, and an a squared again, which means we need to multiply by something that's divisible by all of those, and that would be a squared. So as we distribute our a squared through, we've got 9a squared minus 1 over, we distribute it through here, we'd have 3a squared divided by a would be 3a, and then minus a squared divided by a squared would be minus 1. So, are we finished here? No, please make sure you're paying attention to whether things factor or not. In this case, 9a squared minus 1 is a difference of squares. So 3a minus 1 times 3a plus 1 all over 3a minus 1. And now we can cancel out the factors that appear on the top and the bottom. And our final answer for number 18 would be 3a plus 1. If you have questions about any of these problems, please make sure you reach out.